Hello and welcome to Around the NBA, presented by the Ultimate Sports Show. I'm your host, Aaron. This evening, I'm joined by Manny. As always, Manny, how's it going, man?
It's going great. Grinding here at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm ready to do this.
Let's go. So a lot of games happened today. Obviously, the most recent one to end was the Laker game. Lakers beat the Magic 96-93. Overall, that game, I was pretty shocked. I thought the Lakers were going to come out a little bit more aggressive on the defensive end. They looked solid, but they were letting this game slip away in the fourth quarter. I was watching this game and I was just like, "Are we going to win this game?" There's 7 minutes to go, and Orlando was up in this game, and I said, if we don't lock down defensively here, we're not going to win this game. And they ended up showing up. They got it done. It was really encouraging to see. Obviously, they won 2 straight now, so they're at 30 wins for the year. That's really good to see.
Yeah, I mean, it was an ugly game. We were down by 5 points in the fourth quarter, but at least we came back. Dennis Schroeder actually shocked me in the fourth. He looked really good, and that was your guy, Aaron, that you picked.
Yeah.
And he had 24 points, shot to Kobe, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, and he didn't take too many threes, which is good. Good job, Schroeder. You took 3 threes and you made 1, which is very outstanding for you. But one guy that was really shocking more than anybody was Markieff Morris. He had 12 points and 11 rebounds. And for a backup 4, to be honest with you, actually he started this game, but usually he's a backup. But he started this game and he looked really, really good. I'm very, very impressed with Keefe. And he shot 5 for 11, which means that he was what was that, 60%? Not bad.
Yeah.
And Marc Gasol. I said it, I'm a believer in Marc Gasol now.
Heck yeah, here we go.
I mean, look, he didn't shoot the ball great, but he did other things that were very, key to our victory. He had 7 points. He actually had 3 assists as a big man, which is very good. And Vince, you're right. Kuzma also. I gotta save him for last. Kuz. He had 21 points and 11 rebounds. So we had 2 guys, actually no, 3 guys tonight that had a double-double. And the third guy I'm going to get into a little bit later here. So back to Kuzma for a second.
Yeah.
He had 4 assists, 11 rebounds, 21 points. He took way too many threes. That's the one knock on him tonight. But the best for last, my boy Trez. Off the bench, 18 points, 11 rebounds, shot 8 for 13 from the field. To be honest with you, Aaron, there's nothing less to expect from Trez. Every night he just brings it. He looks amazing every night. But one problem I had with us is I just think we could have been better on defense tonight, and we let some. It happens every freaking night with the Lakers, man. We always let these random guys get career highs. Who the hell is Shuma Okiki? This guy had 14 points and shot 3 for 6 from 3. It's the same narrative for us with the Lakers, but nothing less I can expect.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the thing that gets annoying the most, is when you let people, no matter what, you let people go off for their career highs. And Okiki, this guy, I was watching him shoot. I'm just like, you got to be kidding me right now. Like, no, even Bill and Stu tonight were just like, okay, we're learning about this guy as well. But you know what? In the end of the day, the Magic team's really playing for nothing. I mean, they're 15-31 on the year. They're not playing for much right now, and It's really just to let those young guys just get the experience being in the league, because you never know, this is a team that's letting them have a chance. So this team, at least, they're building confidence, and these guys are all these guys around the league, no matter what, that are younger guys that come in normally, or they're rummies, or they're on a team that's out completely out of the championship playoff picture at all, and they're playing for the draft. These guys are all just essentially getting their feet wet in the water here. That's all it is. They're getting the experience, and just like when Kuzma and Ingram and Lonzo, all those guys got to play together. Julius Randle, with the
Mm-hmm.
Lakers when they were all young guys. They were all young core team. I knew in the end of the day that those guys were not going to be starting if we ever got veterans. If we ever got veterans back on the team, obviously you saw what happened, and the rest is history. So honestly, the only thing that was scary tonight, end of the game, Wesley Matthews, man, with that freak injury, it looked like he grabbed his ankles. I think every person was freaking out at the minute because you don't know where he was grabbing. And thank God, the best thing was that he got up on his own will and he was able to walk
Mm-hmm.
it off completely. So hopefully he's okay. They're off for the next few days, so that's good to see. But on otherwise, it was an okay win for the Lakers. So there's nothing really to write home too much about. The turnovers were bad tonight, though.
Yeah, the turnovers are bad every night, but I mean, yes, I see your point, Aaron. It was a good win, but the problem is I just think we could have been better on the defensive end because this Orlando team, like you said, they're just battling it out for the lottery. It's kind of like when we were in the dumps with like Lonzo and Ingram and Hart and Randall and Kuzma and Jordan Clarkson, guys like that. But yeah, it's all good. I mean, we have 2 straight wins in our books, but Wednesday obviously we're gonna have a very tough matchup in Giannis and the Bucks. But that's a here or no there. We have like 2 days off. Well, basically 1 day off if you're watching from the East Coast like me. It's Monday morning. But yeah, like we'll get there. I mean, it's gonna be a tough matchup, but I guess we'll see what happens.
Exactly. Let's get to the other games that happened as well around the league. That's why it is around the NBA as well. Suns and the Hornets. Obviously the Suns are no joke. They
Mm-hmm.
took care of it. The Hornets. The Hornets they're okay. We saw what they can do. I mean, we've seen what LaMelo plays. Obviously, things are different now because of him being injured. I saw basically Phoenix winning this game, no problems at all. And they were just playing great. They're in a rhythm here. Obviously, you got Miles Bridges, DeAndre Ayton. Those core guys, Ayton, Paul, and Booker, man, they're just a unit and they're a machine. When they get going, they get going.
Devin Booker obviously is a generational talent, but the
Yeah.
thing is, you want to know why, Aaron, the Phoenix Suns are looking so good? Because now Booker has a point guard for once in his life. They
Yeah.
would be playing like guys like Jawan Evans. Like, who the hell is Jawan Evans? Like, come on. Like, now it's about time, like in the offseason, Phoenix had the guts to go for the big guy. He saw that like Chris Paul's in the trading block from Houston.
Yeah.
Sorry, not Houston, OKC.
Yeah, I
But
get you.
like, and he's like, you know what? I gotta go for this because Booker is a generational talent and he needs his point guard. And they already have a guy who sets screens in DeAndre Ayton, so why not get a ball handler? But honestly, both of them are looking absolutely amazing this year. Let's start off with Devin Booker, of course. He
Yeah.
has 35. He has 35 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Yeah, he shot way too many threes, kind of like what Kuzma did tonight, 4 for 11. But 35 points is absolutely no slouch. Chris Paul, CP3,
Yeah.
like one of the best point guards of my lifetime for sure. 16 points. He had 2 rebounds, only 1 assist. Wow, I just noticed only 1 assist from Chris Paul. That's something I never thought I'd ever see.
That's
But
rare.
very, very rare.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the other big guy that they have, DeAndre Ayton, 14 points, 14 rebounds. If you're ever getting 14 points, it's not the worst thing to get because the guy backs it up with 14 rebounds, and that's something like you want to see if you're a star center in the league. You need to have the same amount of points as you have rebounds, at least to look like dominant, in my opinion. And he shot 6 for 11. 50% from the field is very good. And then the Charlotte Hornets. There's one bad spot that I got to talk about with the Charlotte Hornets. Not only because LaMelo Ball is out for the year, but PJ Washington. What the hell happened to you, PJ Washington? 0 points. Yeah, you had 12 rebounds, but the guy had 0 points in 44 minutes. I'm looking at the stats right now. Aaron, I'm just baffled looking at this.
I am too. I'm looking at the same thing you are, and I can't. How do you? I just find it so hard. Like, you're in a game for four. Okay, yeah, like if you're in the game for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever.
It's not the worst.
It's not the worst thing. Like, it's no big deal, But you're in a game and you're playing over 20 plus minutes a game. Like, you should at least be able to get at least 10 points at the most.
Yeah.
I don't know what was going on. Maybe he wasn't, there's always a chance to, because, we know like players sometimes just not feeling great. They want to give it a go, but they're not 100%. Maybe PJ wasn't feeling terrific. Who knows?
Probably.
But 0 for 7 and 12 rebounds, 2 assists, and 5 fouls. He got in foul issues too, and he still managed to play 44 minutes. I don't know how. I don't think I've ever seen a stat line like that.
Same.
But hey, man, it's a new year. It's a new NBA season, so there's different things that can happen at any different given time.
I guess so. But
Right.
but yeah, back to the Hornets though. Let's scratch that off for a bit because we already covered PJ Washington. But
Yeah.
Gordon Hayward, 15 points. 1 for 6 from 3. That's pretty bad. I don't know how this game went to overtime. The Hornets looks like they played a very bad game.
Yeah.
Devontae Graham looked okay. He had a 30 piece with 7 for 16 from 16 threes. Terrible 0 for 12. Yeah, the Hornets did. I don't know how this game went to overtime. The Hornets they look bad. These stats look bad for the Hornets.
Yeah, they shot, their percentage overall, wasn't terrific.
30%.
It wasn't it could have been worse. They shot terrible from 3. Honestly though, look, they had 21 turnovers too. And what's like something we always talk about, you're never going to win. Or if you miraculously win a game that you have 20 plus turnovers, we already know the Lakers had that happen to them a few days ago, where everybody was kind of shocked they even won. But in the end of the day here, if you commit 21 turnovers in a game, there's a good chance you're not going to win, because you're giving up so many points. Don't get me wrong, they didn't get out rebounded in the paint, because they were about even 44-40 in the paint. But I'm just saying, like, the most Phoenix was up by 16, and I'm shocked they didn't slaughter them even more, because this team actually just came out there and had a purpose today. They said, hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to come out here and get it done. So, I was pretty shocked about it. I think we're having a little bit of technical issues here. But honestly, I would say, I think I give Charlotte a lot of credit though. They stuck around in the game. They could have lost by a lot. You only lose by 4 points. That's not terrible. But definitely I would say that's not. It could have been worse. So that was Phoenix and the Hornets. We get into the Trailblazers and the Raptors. That game was 122 to 117, and that one was a close game as well. Like, don't get me wrong, we're just having some technical issues. Just waiting for Manny to come back, and he'll rejoin. Just dealing with some network issues, but honestly, I wasn't too surprised here. I figured, either it's going to be a close game, or Damian Lillard's going to have a career scoring night tonight as well. You can't ever doubt this team. They're always, they're on a roll right now, to say the least. Lillard's been doing great. This whole team.
Sorry about that, you guys.
You're good. You're good. We're just talking about Portland and Toronto. Just saying, hey, man, like, it doesn't matter. I think honestly, I'm shocked Lillard didn't go off tonight, because Toronto's been such a bad team this year that I definitely, I was surprised. Lillard actually was held to under 30 points. So, he's human. Don't get me wrong. He's going to go off. But overall, it was not a bad win at all. I just thought it would actually be more of a one-sided slaughter, but I'm glad Toronto still hung in there.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a very close game. But back to Lillard for a second.
Yeah.
He shot 7 for 21. Not the greatest percentage in the world. CJ McCollum the same, 9 for 18. But I mean, at least he scored over 20. It's not the worst. But the Raptors really kept it going. Shout out to everybody watching here in Canada. But Siakam obviously is a star in the making. He is a star. 26 points, 8 rebounds. He shot 2 for 3 from 3. Very, very good for Siakam. And also, everybody watching here in Montreal, shout out to Chris Boucher. He played very good from the bench. 18 points, 11 rebounds, shot 2 for 4 from 3. So clearly the Raptors know how to shoot from deep. Well, apart from Fred VanVleet, he shot 2 for 10. But everybody else, it looks like they shot very well from the 3. 2 for 3 for Siakam, 3 for 7 for Anunoby, 2 for 4, like I said, for Chris Boucher. Stanley Johnson even shot really good. I haven't heard much from Stanley Johnson at all for years.
Yeah.
He's kind of like one of those forgotten guys, but he looked really good as well. Like I gotta give my credit where it deserves. The Raptors actually hung in there and they made it a game. The Blazers won, and they're obviously the better team because they're like the 5th seed. But yeah, they looked really good.
They look solid, and honestly, obviously you hope that that Portland will be at full strength. Obviously they've been dealing with injuries. We know that they've been beat up as well. I mean, don't get me wrong. A lot of teams, a lot of players, unfortunately, this year have been hit with injuries, and obviously Nurkic for them, he's a big piece of their puzzle. And when he's playing healthy and he's 100%, he helps them out a lot. They spread the floor well, and obviously the dude can shoot. I mean, he's a great attacker in the paint. But honestly, when he's healthy, I mean, look, Nurkic played tonight. Yes, he played tonight. Where he's still working his way back into shape, though. I mean, you can't expect him to be at full strength completely yet. It's just a matter, like, he only played about 19 minutes or so in the game. But I expect him to get back to himself as soon as he's got his minutes and his legs under him. I expect him to just start going off, and it'd be the three McCollum and Lillard and Nurkic.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as Portland has those 3 guys healthy, they're going to be a dangerous team. Yes, I know we pretty much dismantled them in 5 games in the playoffs last year, but we all know what Portland can do. They're no slouch of a team. To be honest with you, Nurkic, he hasn't been healthy this year much, and he actually looked okay tonight. 10 points, 4 rebounds. I mean, yeah, I know a traditional center shouldn't be getting 4 rebounds, but I watched a bit of that game and he looked like he was productive. And sometimes it's the little things when you watch basketball. Sometimes when you look at stats, you're like, oh my god, this guy scored 40, 50 points. But there's another thing when you look at basketball, when you're watching games, there's just guys that there's just their presence is there and you feel it, and it just gives an overall impact on the game. That's basically what goes on usually.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm not too worried. I wasn't too worried about this game. Either way, I thought, hey, either it's gonna be one-sided or it's gonna be very close. So I'm not too worried. In the end of the day, in the end of the day, it's just a regular season. Let's get into the final game that went on today. It was the Nuggets and the Hawks. A 24-point win for the Nuggets, 126-102. Nuggets, man. I mean, they made moves. They're probably the most aggressive team when it came to the trade deadline. They made moves. They got Aaron Gordon. I think he's a great fit personally. I think he's gonna blend right in with this team. Obviously, he wasn't going anywhere right now with the Magic at their point of where they were. I think it was a great decision by them to say, hey, let's get him to with the Western Conference to have a chance to compete at a high level of basketball. Obviously, a little bit harder to get adapted to just because, the Mile High City. But I felt like he blended in great. And I saw some highlights of that game. And, I mean, man, he was solid, at least, 13 points in the game. Didn't shoot the ball great from three, but I mean, that just adds to their firepower, man.
I mean, look, he's a traditional force. You can't really expect him to shoot like
Yeah,
godly from three. But yeah, absolutely, I see your point. And I agree 100% with you. The Nuggets were my number one winner of the deadline. They made the best moves. They made the smartest moves, and it showed tonight. Aaron Gordon, his presence was felt. I know he only had 13 points, but like I said before, when your presence is felt, it makes an overall difference. I know he had only 11. I only had 13 points and one
yeah,
assist, but the thing is, usually like fours and fives get in foul trouble. This guy only had one foul tonight. Very good. Good job, Aaron Gordon. I applaud you on that. And he shot 6 for 9, which is a very good percentage. Absolutely amazing percentage. And there's another thing also. What's there to say about this? The other guy, Nicola Jokich. In my opinion, he's the best center in basketball. He had flirted with a triple double. Actually, he had 16 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists. 2 more assists, you would have got it. And he shot 1 for 2 from 3, 7 for 12 from the field, and kind of the same percentage from the field. The other guy, we know about, shout out to Canada, Jamal Murray, 17 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds, 1 for 4 from 3. Clearly, it shows that the Nuggets can shoot from deep. We know that's not their issue. That's why at the deadline they got mostly 4s and 5s, because we know they're a good shooting team. We saw them in the playoffs, in the conference finals, and we saw them this year. They're very, very good. And another thing
yeah.
also that we got to bring up, JaMychal Green. I said in the offseason that was an underrated move for Denver, and he's proved me right. Off the bench, 14 minutes, he dropped a nice solid 20 piece on the Hawks and shot 3 for 5 from 3. The Nuggets looked really good, bro. They looked really, really good.
They did. I mean, honestly, I'm like looking over their stat line too as well, and I mean, they're good. They're great. You know, they have good pieces there. Obviously JaMychal Green. We were talking about it before we went live too. I mean, he just puts up numbers. It's incredible to see. Obviously, we got to give a shout out as well for this game, because it's great to see JaVale McGee with the Nuggets. Kind of a full circle for him. You know, he started with Denver, and I feel like he's at the point of his career that says, hey, you know what? This team doesn't. I don't. He's kind of like their Jared Dudley a little bit. Like if he needs to get into a game, if he's gonna get into a game, he'll get in the game for, I don't know, maybe a few minutes or so. But I mean, primarily, he's just a great person to have on your bench, whatever team he's on. He just helps influence the younger guys, keep them motivated, keep them hungry for more. And obviously, props and shout out to him. Hopefully, he'll get his ring soon with the Lakers. He was supposed to get it, but we know the rest is history. But otherwise, shout out to the Nuggets tonight. They played great. I mean, they're a real threat. I think potentially they're making it to the Western Conference Finals again.
Oh, without a doubt. Especially that they're winners of the deadline.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised if we face them in the conference finals up again. And I'm glad you brought that up. I 1000% agree with you on the JaVale McGee take that you had, because I see it too. Like, he's literally the Jared Dudley for the Nuggets. He's there to mentor the young guys, because don't forget that the Nuggets have this like young phenom center they took in the second round 2 years ago in Bol. JaVale McGee is going to mentor the life out of Bol. So that way he's comfortable with the NBA, because from what we've seen, like us NBA fans,
Yeah.
he's a very raw prospect still. I know it's 2 years now he's in the league, but he's a very raw guy. So, because he spent a lot of times in the G League for them. But JaVale McGee is gonna let him like is gonna basically teach him some post moves, give him a few pointers and stuff. Like, we all know JaVale McGee. At his age, he's not really there to make a full presence. It's not like he's the JaVale McGee that was in the Nuggets years ago in his prime. Like, now he's older,
Yeah.
so he's there to just teach the younger guys, mentor the younger guys, and yeah, just like Jared Dudley is for the Lakers. I like that point. Absolutely.
Yeah. Otherwise though, great win for the Nuggets. And the Hawks, they're really, they're playing the best that they can. Obviously, ever since they made their coaching changes, they've been playing better. So it's good to see them. It's good to see them moving in the right directions. Let's before we wrap things up, let's get into the buyout stuff that happened. Obviously, big centered about around Brooklyn. Brooklyn making their moves. What was your first initial reaction when they actually got LaMarcus Aldridge? Because I said already, you're already stacked. You already have a good amount of people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess if you really want to bring in another superstar, but I mean, I was kind of personally shocked because they already had enough talent to win. And it's like, how much do you need? How do you spread the minutes around?
I 100% agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Like what we saw, like what we talked about in the pre. I don't know if it was on the pregame or if we were off air when we said. When I told you, actually no, wait, it wasn't you. I think it was Vince. I brought this up to.
Oh yeah,
that I don't like how these pieces fit for Brooklyn. Like you have KD that sometimes plays the four. You sign Blake Griffin. Now you sign LaMarcus Aldridge. Where are you gonna find time to play all these people? Are you gonna start some? Are you gonna play some off the bench? Like there's just like I'm just in loss of words when I saw that because I don't see those pieces fitting, and I just see it as very dysfunctional. Like how many like power forwards and fours and fives are you gonna get? Like you trade away Jared Allen, that's a young and up-and-coming star center for absolutely nothing, and then you keep DeAndre Jordan, who's like at the backlight of his career, and then LaMarcus Aldridge and Blake Griffin are kind of the same. They're also towards the backlight of the backlight of their careers when they're mid to early 30s. Like I don't know. I just think it's a weird fit, and I'm gonna leave it at that.
You expect now? I would expect them honestly. I mean, because the buyout could still go on. You could still any NBA team could still buy out one of their contracts for a player and just let them go. I think there's a chance that Brooklyn has to do something because in the end of the day, I mean, they have pieces everywhere, and I feel like I don't know. I personally would say I think they're gonna have a spot where they're gonna have to say, okay, who's the younger guys then? Like any of their other bench people, like. Maybe they reduce some cap space and say, hey, we're just going to buy out a few people that are on a bench that we know they're not going to play. Maybe, a few newer guys that are newer to the league. They might get the hook as well because I just find it hard to see where, even Aldridge, how can you mix up lineups there? You could put an Aldridge with DeAndre Jordan. You could put in obviously Blake Griffin and DeAndre who know each other like the back of their head. There's different options, but then you have KD. KD can play the three, and then how do you go about specific things? I mean, you could think of how their lineup could be constructed, but then what do you do with the other guys that have been there? Like then you're telling another person that's been with their team that had Aldridge's minutes, and you're telling him, hey, you're going to get cut down from playing, let's just say 35 minutes a game to maybe 25 or 20 minutes a game now. Then you have to say, well, it's a little unfair.
Absolutely, it's unfair. I 100% agree with you on that. Like, that's why I say these pieces don't fit because how are you gonna let these other guys get minutes? Like, they have a spot up shooter on their team called Landry Shamet, who I think that was one of the most underrated moves in the offseason. Like, are you gonna be able to find him minutes? Are you gonna find guys like Bruce Brown or Nicholas Claxton minutes? Because those two guys are up-and-coming stars. They're young, and they're very, very good. So we're going to find minutes for those guys. DeAndre Jordan, I know he starts, but when he comes off the bench, who's going to be the small ball center for them? LaMarcus Aldridge or Blake Griffin? That's something that Steve Nash is really going to have to work on. Like how he's going to mesh all these guys in the lineup. It's going to be a process for them.
We've heard it before. Trust the process, I guess. I mean, hey, at this point, honestly, are you going to be? Do you think there's any more moves that are be advanced? Obviously, there's been speculations that says, there's talks about Avery Bradley, Otto Porter. Do you expect anybody, before we wrap it up here, do you expect any moves to happen within the next few days?
It's a good question. I mean, I don't see why not. I mean, to look at our Lakers, we desperately need some 3-point shooting because it hasn't been that great. So I would like to see an Avery Bradley. I would like to see like some guy like Vince has mentioned, Otto Porter. Like I guess we can get him. There's also Isaiah Thomas who hasn't played in what, like a good 2 years,
Yeah.
and I think he would be a good backup for us. That would provide some offense. I don't think it would work out defensively because he is short at 5'9", but there's also another guy I think that possibly could get bought out, and I don't think he's on a team right now. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think he's on a team right now. Rondae Hollis Jefferson. He's someone too that could provide the 3 and D,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't
I don't
mind him either.
I don't think he's on a team either. Vince, I don't think he's on a team. If he is, let us know, but I don't believe
Please.
he is. I didn't see his name pop up anywhere on any team. But honestly, I don't know. I was thinking that in the bigger picture, yes, this is not like officially official, but there's been speculations that Lakers could have been circled around bringing back Avery Bradley. There's other people that have said, well, what they could do if the Lakers really wanted to open up another spot. They have a guy named Alfonso McKinney on their team as well. They could, if they wanted to, buy out his contract as well and get Otto Porter and get Avery Bradley if they really wanted to, and say, hey, people are gonna start looking at the Lakers and say, well, you're underdogs. Now Brooklyn is stacked. If the Lakers wanted to, they can actually do that. If they really wanted to, they could buy out that contract, save a little bit of money, and grab another 2 guards if they wanted to. Same veterans minimum contract, or probably close to the same amount that AD number 2 is going to be earning this year. Final thoughts?
Final thoughts is, I mean, there was only 4 games tonight.
Yeah.
The primary one being obviously our Lakers. We won 93-96. There was one blowout, but honestly, like 4 games on a Sunday is pretty good actually, because everybody on the Sundays, they're with their families, they're chilling with their families and everything. But it's not so bad to have 4 games because it's not as much as like a 9 or 10 game schedule like in the weekdays when everyone's at work and they come home and they have to like binge watch all those games. Like 4 games is great in my opinion, and I'm happy that most of them were close. 3 out of the 4 at least were close games and they were entertaining.
Yeah. All right, that's going to do it for us for Around the NBA. For Manny, Medina, and myself, I'm Aaron. Thanks again to everybody for tuning in. As always, we appreciate the comments. Vince, shout out to you, my man. You're always in the comments. Appreciate the love.
Shout out to
and
Vince.
we'll be back covering Around the NBA soon. Probably, if not Monday, maybe Tuesday night. We'll see how things go. Make sure you're following our social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We are going to be all over there. That way, at least you can watch it. And from now on, good night, guys. Enjoy your night, and we'll see you soon.
Peace.